Hello and welcome to all viewers on live by FNP Media. This is the Shah family at your service.
God looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt. For all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth, and his earth was filled with violence. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great, and the thoughts of his heart were only evil continually. And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from off the face of the earth, both man and beast, for it repenteth me that I have made them. Behold, I shall bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh, and every living thing shall die. But then, after he'd fixed it for a big flood to wash everything away, he began to feel a little sorry. It says so right here in the Bible. God changed his mind. He remembered somebody that he loved. He remembered Noah. Who was Noah? Now, all we know from the Bible is that he was very old and liked to get drunk. But Noah, it says here, found grace in the eyes of the Lord. And God said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence. And behold, I shall bring a flood upon the earth to destroy all flesh, and every living thing shall die. Except you, Noah, and your wife, Mrs. Noah, and your sons and their wives. And of course, so you won't have to starve when the flood's over, we'll have to save the birds and the animals too. And so hurry up for God's sake and build a boat, a big one, and put into it every living thing of all flesh, two of every sort, male and female, to keep them alive with you. And old Noah did as God said. He built a boat, the ark, and all the fountains of the great deep were all broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened, and Noah went in with his family into the ark, and the beasts of the earth and the birds of the sky, and every living thing that creepeth upon the earth went in 2 by 2 with Noah into the ark, male and female, as God had commanded. And that way, after all, everything was saved. 40 days and 40 nights the rain was upon the face of the earth, and the waters increased greatly upon the earth, and the ark was lifted up, and went upon the face of the waters, and the waters prevailed. And all the high hills that were under the whole heaven were covered. 15 cubits upward did the waters prevail. And the mountains were covered, and all flesh died that moved upon the earth, and all that was in the dry land died. Men and cattle and creeping things and the birds of the heaven, they were all destroyed. And Noah only remained alive, and they that were with him in the ark. The waters prevailed upon the face of the earth 150 days. Then God made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters were assuaged. And the windows of heaven were stopped, and the waters returned from off the face of the earth continuously. And Noah opened the window of the ark, and he sent forth a dove to see if the waters were abated from off the face of the ground. But the dove found no rest for the sole of her foot, for the waters were on the face of the whole earth, and she returned to the ark. And Noah put forth his hand, and took her, and pulled her in unto him into the ark. And 7 days later, he sent forth a dove out again out of the ark, and in the evening the dove came back to him. And lo, in her mouth was an olive branch plucked off. So Noah knew that the waters were abated from off the earth. And in another 7 days he sent forth a dove, and she returned not again to him any more. And Noah removed the covering of the ark, and looked, and behold, the face of the earth, the face of the ground was dry. And God spoke to Noah and said, Go on ashore. It's all over. Take Mrs. Noah and your sons and their wives. Take with you all the living things that you saved from the flood, that they may breed abundantly in the earth, and be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. Into your hands they are delivered. Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you. Even as the green herb have I given you all things. But at the hand of every man's brother will I require the lives of man. Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. And the Lord said, in his own heart he said, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake. For the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I smite every living thing as I have done. While the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. So everybody went ashore and started to do their thing all over again, including old Cap Noah, who got himself so drunk to celebrate. It's right here in the Bible. And now that the storm was over, up in the sky there was a rainbow. And God said, look, I set my rainbow in the cloud. It shall be for a token of a covenant between me and the earth, that never again shall the earth be destroyed by me. The rainbow shall be in the cloud, and I, the Lord, should look upon it, so that I may remember the everlasting covenant between me and every living creature. So the rainbow is God's promise never again to destroy what he created. A contract printed up in all the colors there are. And if ever again he shall feel tempted to call it a bad job and blow us all up away, or wash the whole world away into darkness, there in the sky will be his rainbow, like a string on God's finger, to remind him. From now on, he's left the whole thing in our hands, the earth and all that grows on it, and everything that lives on it in our hands. While the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. Only we can destroy it.